or no's?
One attempt, 2 clues. Let's go.
All right, but
One
yes or no's questions.
2 clues. Okay.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the worst, best podcast on the planet Earth or the universe. I am Silent Mike Farr. I'm here with the host, the legend, Omar Isov, and my good friend, Hannah Eden.
What's up?
In the house. Hannah, before we go on, we just want to give a shout out to our sponsor, our loan endorsement, which we
Only
love.
people that believe in us is
Kaizen
it's
Training.
us.
It's so weird.
It's us.
Yeah, we sponsor our own podcast. Myself, Silent Mike, our homie Barquan. We started Kaizen Training to provide effective training programs for everyone, whether your goal is to build muscle, lose fat, or get stronger. We got you. Kaizen Training, that's Kizen training.com. Check out the programs. Hannah, you are going to kerfluffle me because you said it's interesting. You gave me one clue about your ethnicity.
Oh, what was it?
I kind of asked it. I said, "Are you more than one? Like, are you like?" Yeah.
Didn't you say, is it 2?
Is it 2?
So,
yeah, that's 2.
So audio people, we got bright red hair, tan complexion.
No.
Is that from Miami or the ethnicity?
No, this is me pale, dude.
Yeah, no,
Okay, so
yeah.
tan complexion. Just say the alphabet or something.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
So we got some accents happening.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Ooh,
It's,
so confusing.
She's jacked.
Jack. Yes, I know.
That's definitely my ethnicity.
I mean, look, I blame
Yeah.
my genetics for why I'm fat.
There you go. Yeah. So the first thing, the accent. I'm terrible with this shit, so I apologize, Hannah. I thought you were Australian when I first heard you, which is wrong. It's flat wrong.
It is.
G'day, mate.
Because most people think, and even Australians think, that I sound more Australian than I do English.
Really?
So that is not an offense because I've been here for so long.
And what? So is it because you had a UK accent, then you came to America, and it kind of transformed, or okay?
Yeah. So I came at 16
Yeah.
as this like ghetto hood rat. That the accent was so much different than it is now.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, exactly like
What
that.
are them tanks?
Them things. Exactly. That was how it was. But then I got my first job in a sandwich shop.
Sandwich shop.
And I had to ask if they wanted lettuce, tomato, or mayonnaise.
Right.
And in English, it would be, do you want lettuce, tomato, or mayonnaise?
Right.
And everyone would be like, what the fuck did she just say?
Yeah.
So I kind of had to adapt it, and then it just turned into this.
Okay.
Maybe I'm looking too deep into things. We have Australia over here.
Right.
And America here.
Right.
And then the UK here. And I know colonization and this and that and the other. But if your accent's in the middle,
Ooh.
I don't know, bro.
I
don't know where I'm
I don't know
going.
where
either.
you're
I don't know where I'm going.
You need-
either.
you need to-
That's where my head
We
went.
were all trying to pick it up,
I'm with
Hannah,
you.
and
I don't know. That's just where my
sometimes
head
there's
went. She
nothing
moved
there.
closer to Australia.
Yeah.
And Americans don't know shit. That's the real answer to that question. Is
I'm
America's?
just trying to work my way there.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know,
Continue.
I'm on my way.
Yeah. So before I go on to guessing your ethnicities, first just explain the UK, like in Britain, how there's a lot of different accents because in America
Yes.
there's 2, 3, but talk us through that.
So you could literally be 20 minutes down the road or from the same town, but depending on where your parents are from. So my parents were posh, which means they pronounce their words and kind of sound like the Queen.
Yeah.
But then all my aunts and uncles that are from the same family but live in a different place have a totally different accent. So they don't pronounce TH, it's a F, so thank you.
Right.
Sounds like
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
thank you. Or like instead of a TH, it would be V, so bruv.
Yeah,
Right.
bro.
Yes. Yes.
Let's go.
Hey, bro.
And weird slang. The slang is everything. That changes the game. But yeah, accents change everywhere you go.
Is that, and maybe none of us know, we're acting like you're a historian. Is that because of class system back in the day? It probably is, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Not-
the Cockney accent.
Yeah.
It's funny because I think the Cockney accent actually was created in London and it had nothing to do with class. And then as time went on, it's a stereotype. But if you were usually have a Cockney accent, it means you're not from the best place. But that's bullshit nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now things mix and
Yeah.
whatever, but back then it was more class system rather than regional.
Exactly.
Where America, it's pretty regional.
Yes. And for me in America, I think everyone sounds the same. Apart from Texas, like down south is
Yeah.
really, really strong. And maybe New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when people are like, oh, he's from Cali, I'm like, what? It's
Yeah.
American.
That's what I've heard too. I've heard that California is the standard of like vanilla American. Like that's the norm.
So what would be a Valley girl then? Is that California?
Give it to us, Mike.
So I think
I know you can do
Let me
this.
So I have a couple things with that. So I'm from Northern California. California is really, really big. Northern California, I'm obviously very biased for, and it's literally different planets to me. The typical Valley Girl is more of a region of chick, but then so is like Northern California, where like brohos and like big trucks and like wakeboarding and saying hella. Hella is something which I didn't even know literally until about 5 years ago that it's only in my region. That's what people say.
And that would be like, that's hella cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And then and other places, I think they say hecka or don't even say it at all. But I still say hella all the time.
And in Massachusetts, they'd be like, that's wicked cool.
So it's kind of like Wicked.
Hey.
It's like Wicked, except Boston is like one of our biggest cities. So everyone knows Wicked,
Yeah.
but everyone doesn't know hella.
Hella.
And the Valley Girl, I think, was probably just the movies is all I know it from. But maybe that's just because of our generation. What was that movie? Or the TV
Mean
show?
Girls?
Clueless,
Oh,
like
Clueless.
that.
Clueless,
Yeah.
But that
yes.
whole thing,
Yeah.
that whole thing. Like,
Can I hear your
I can't even think right now.
Oh, Mike, you can nail it. I will say I've heard some people in California. I've only been there maybe 6 or 7 times.
Yeah.
But they kind of have some people in some areas that Valley Girl like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Let's
that
go
is the
grab
start
a
of it.
mocha chocolate from Starbucks and buy the new Uggs. They're not even leather anymore. Like, Peter.
Look at that flow state Mike was just on. He nailed it.
He's like, no, I just don't know if I can do this.
I really-
Wait, I didn't.
Give me a sec. Give me a sec.
Okay, so I am going to take a stab here. I'm going to go, normally how guesses work, you take 3 guesses.
How guesses work?
Yeah, with the guessing
3
game.
attempts.
3 attempts, 3 guesses,
Yeah.
3 attempts you get. I'm going to say fuck that. I'm going to ask 2 questions and then 1 guess.
All right.
Okay.
But I won't make them like...
Are you from the western region of Europe?
yeah.
No. Okay, let's hear it out.
So is one of your ethnicities from dominant ones from Europe?
No.
Got it. Okay.
You mean
Interesting.
the like country or ethnicity itself was dominant or is dominant, like one of the bigger ones? Is that what
Well,
you're saying?
you're 2 distinct backgrounds, right?
Yes. So then, yes.
And
No,
it's
but
split right
kinda
down the
not.
middle between, this isn't a question, but because when you said that, it's like mom and dad, or no, it's actually...
It's
like-
mum and dad. Mum and dad,
Yeah.
totally different.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
But
I take that back.
well, I was going to say,
Oh, wait.
I need to
I'll
say-
define because I know. I don't know because so if we're saying is it a dominant country in Northern America, you obviously say probably America would be the dominant.
Oh,
is that what you're asking about?
Is any, so I assume
Yeah.
that your mom is from one place and your father's from another.
That's correct.
That's correct. Okay. I meant is either your mom or father's DNA from Europe?
Yes.
Oh, one of them. Okay, gotcha.
Who do you think? I have to ask a question back. Who do you think that is?
Your father.
That's so interesting. Okay.
Go ahead.
I was just again. I don't know. I'm just
yeah.
that I have no basis. for that.
Yeah, of course.
And then second is it's the eyes that are throwing me off. I mean, because you said you're also pale right now, and so if you're
Yes.
part like European, and then I guess the other question I'm gonna go with.
But Europe's huge. I mean, Italians can be a
Yeah, I
little
mean, I'm
dark.
gonna take a stab. Here. Don't try to
Stab
throw me
away,
off.
brother.
I feel like you're trying to throw off my
going
mojo
no,
here.
I'm just saying that
I
you
feel like you guys are
said
getting a little nervous.
you said Europeans are pale, but
I'm also
the Mediterranean.
thinking of where the UK, where Britain like colonized different areas.
the entire world.
Yeah,
but yeah.
so
Continue.
there's some dominant. There's some dominant. Like India is a huge one. I'm gonna go with no on that though. I'm going by my
He's
gut.
speaking
Who
out loud.
knows?
This is like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, where they'd ask the question,
A big question.
and the guy's
I wanna nail
arguing
this.
himself the whole time.
I want to
Yeah.
know this. So second, okay. Well, I guess we'll go with it. Is second one, are either
I'm
of
going
your
to call a
parents?
friend. No, I'm going to call a friend. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take, no, I'm going to call him.
Yeah.
Because that is the biggest minority, let's say, I think, in the UK, or like South Asian, Desi, like Indian. So I'm going to go, though, with something else. I'm going to ask, is there any mother, father, Africa? Any part of Africa or no?
No.
Okay, good. I just want to eliminate
Good.
that.
Whoa.
No, I want to.
This
For
is
the
an
guest
open
man.
podcast.
What's that?
They're the 2 questions, right?
That
Yeah,
my 2
that's it.
questions.
Now you have, I guess, technically 2 guesses because there's 2 ethnicities.
Yeah. It's the freaking it's the eyes that throw me because I actually want to say somewhere from Eastern Asia, but I'm trying to think of where you'd get a complexion
And
like
that red hair.
The red hair too, which is
Which is, by the way, natural.
Yeah, 100%.
God, yeah,
Fire
it's
truck
100%
red.
natural.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with see, like it's Filipino makes no sense. It makes no sense for a few different potential reasons why, like in the UK in particular. But I will go with just a half British. I'll go with that because it's the UK. Why not? And then I'll go with. I'm also thinking like Indonesia. I'm thinking of Thailand, and I'm thinking of the Philippines, maybe or Vietnam is one of them. I'm just gonna go a stab in the dark here, shot in the dark. Final answer, Regis Philbin. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Filipino.
Filipino?
No,
Are you sure that's your final answer?
Yeah, I fucked up. Whatever. I know I didn't do a good job.
Impossible. It's impossible.
Yeah, it's wrong.
It is really hard.
I think it's the first thing, or second thing I probably asked you when I met you.
Yeah. I'll give you,
You got a unique look, so I'm
a
wondering.
clue.
Oh, no.
Okay.
What a gracious host, Hannah.
Listen, both of the ethnicities are not from where I was born and raised.
Got it. So, meaning, no UK.
Yeah, the accents.
Wow. And Hannah, see, Hannah, and your last name's Eden, right?
No, so that's my
it's not.
middle name.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. Oh, that's fair.
Oh, see, so I'm being thrown.
That's fair.
I hear, so
fair
Hannah,
enough.
see,
So
I
I
hear
didn't know your
Eden,
name.
and then I think obviously that sounds more like an English last name.
True.
Shit.
So
okay.
my married name is Barreto, which is Brazilian.
Okay.
Yeah.
But my maiden name is Gong. G-O-N-G.
Gong.
Yep.
I'm so bad with that too. Our friend Barquan and a lot of our friends are Asian. That just
So
happen
your
to be a Barber
father
Brigade.
is from Eastern Asia.
Yeah, there's one.
Winning.
But even still, but like you might even know, but people know like, no, that's a Korean name, no, it's a Japanese name, that's a Chinese
Right.
name. I don't know any of that.
suck.
I
Yeah, I do
have
too.
no idea.
Yeah, I
Gong. Tell me. I've already messed up.
So my mom is Irish, born and raised in Northern Ireland, and my dad is 100% Chinese, born and raised in England.
Really?
Yeah.
And you get that tan going on.
I don't know how. My dad is really dark.
Yeah, a little
Chinese.
Chinese.
Did you say Southern China or did you say?
Do you know what? I don't know, which is embarrassing.
No,
Yeah,
and because
I
there
don't-
are some Chinese that definitely have, depending upon regionally where you're from. Okay, that
But
makes
it's
sense.
funny because my dad has really dark skin, and all of his brothers have got really light skin.
Yeah, I don't know much about that region by any means. Have you done any 23andMe action? I wish we were sponsored by it, but we keep plugging this stupid thing. Yeah.
No.
But Jen was talking about it a little bit. She said it was a letdown.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I haven't.
Enlighten me.
No, I don't know. Do you know what it is?
No.
Oh, it's like an ethnicity thing where I think you do a mouth
Oh,
swab.
yes. And you can take back. I haven't done that.
Yeah.
Do you think it's real?
I don't know. I think it is real.
They can identify.
Yeah.
So it's like even if okay, you're half Chinese and half Irish, but that doesn't mean that all your ancestors are just pure
Right,
Irish or
right.
pure Chinese. You know, like for instance, the Mongols conquered a lot of China. It's also a really, really big country, so there's a lot of diversity within the gene pool. So you could be from a lot of different places. You might turn up like 3% Indonesian, 3% this.
I would actually be interested to see where, number one,
muscles?
my height the muscles came from, the red hair,
Yeah, the red hair.
Weird.
but my height and my skin color, because
Okay.
my parents are not tall.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Irish people aren't typically very tall.
No,
Neither
and
is the
definitely not
Chinese.
Chinese.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes that happens though, and that could just be like there's a lot of theories. People make terrible like pseudoscience theories about something being in the water, like either it's like birth control, this or that. But people on average, I think,
You say
are still,
birth control in the water?
Oh, well, just from flushing down, like a lot of different things happening
Chickpea.
with it. Oh, something in the water does not compute, as Prince would say. That people are getting taller, and actually, I think breast sizes on average have increased. I think it's 3 sizes
Worldwide?
Yeah,
over the last
I was
60
going to
years.
say
of
it costs
measuring.
about $5,000.
Yeah, it costs-
In
yeah.
Florida, they have a great market for it.
A great market for that.
So-
But just
Those are amazing
changes.
stats.
So you could have 2 short parents, and then you could actually be born tall.
Yeah, well, that's just a lot of genetics. So that's what I think 23andMe does. I hate plugging this stupid thing, but like they tell you all these things. Yeah,
I do want to see.
Sponsored but not paid for. Because then they start talking about health things or things like that where things skip generations. I don't know. I'm making this stuff up, right? But like both your parents could have brown eyes, but there's a blue gene and you get a blue eye or whatever. Like my sister's redheaded, so I have like some Irish way back in there, but most of us are Italian and Spanish if you break it back down.
And about the 23andMe, is that what
I
it's
think
called?
it's called. Yeah.
This is totally switching subjects,
Yeah,
but
go.
I think that should be something that is almost mandatory in high school, but for health.
Yeah. So it does make a lot of sense, and that stuff I don't think is as accurate. I think definitely the lineage is as accurate, but like same thing where it says like, oh, you may have some heart disease. You're 75%. Like,
Right,
What
right.
the fuck?
How
One,
can you be?
yeah. What the hell does that mean? Two, like, there's a bunch of health problems everywhere.
Yep.
And like Omar said, there's chickpea in the water that's causing more health problems that my genetics can't.
No, those are that
Chicks are ruining America's health and
I did
making
not-
me taller.
I did
and
not.
tits bigger.
I did
And
not
then
say
tits
that.
are huge.
That's basically what you said.
People are trying to figure out why there's different trends that have not occurred for hundreds of years. If you look at
Right.
average height, I think the average height, when we could take a look at this, 200 years ago was, I think, for a male 5'5".
Dang.
And so it has
It is
changed
wild.
quite dramatically. And that's why I wasn't trying to be funny when I
No,
said
yeah,
about
yeah.
breasts. They look at a lot of different testosterone levels.
Right.
And so there's been some for, let's say, a human gene pool, pretty radical changes over a short period of time, and we don't know why.
Yeah. Industrial Revolution time-ish.
Right. But it's got to be to do with nutrition, right?
Yeah, drugs.
Because of all the shit that is in food nowadays. That
we even just breast, right? Fat tissue, and now we're eating a lot more fucking food. And
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, exactly. And people go from being malnourished to being well fed, right? The average size, the clothing size of someone. So there's a lot of different factors.
Someone was digging
vitamins and bone density. And
Someone was digging deep into tits on a podcast I was listening about, and he didn't
favorite podcast.
Sounds like a good time.
He didn't say tits. It made me not like tits anymore because he started to talk about it so scientifically and from an evolution aspect that I think there's 3 animals. Don't quote me on any of this, but there's 3 animals, including humans, that have breasts even when they're not nursing.
Oh, really?
Think about it, right? Like dogs, like they have nipples, but until they have a puppy, do they really have like
enlarged
stuff happening down there?
Right.
But humans always do. And then I forgot the other
another
animals.
two? That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Nige, give us a Google of what animals have tits when they're not nursing.
And let Google just read all your data from that point on and give you search results based upon that.
Siri. I don't know, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the humans are the only ones, but I know that typically there's not just one.
Right.
People say that like dolphins have sex for fun or whatever, but there's like 4 animals that do that, not just.
I would be so interested. I need to know some answers on that.
That's the only thing I know.
So you mean to tell me? I forget what I think it's the mouse. It's called one specific type of mouse, but they're just horn dogs and they have like sex like 300 times. You mean none of that's for pleasure? That's all functions,
right?
Yeah.
Maybe
it's one. Of
maybe
them.
It's evolution. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know much about mice. I don't know much about mush. I just get random facts.
I know a little about something, but not much about much.
About everything.
You know what?
Nothing.
Nothing. Neither do I. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Nothing at all. So, Hannah, year before, don't quote me, you ran a really long distance.
That is
a longer number than I can even calculate.
Not an ultra marathon.
No, dumber than an ultra marathon. I don't even want to say that.
You did more than an ultra marathon.
230 miles.
She ran a country.
What?
She ran a country.
No.
And now you just found a bigger country.
You're going to do it again?
Next.
Even worse. Even better. Not worse.
So spit the story on the first one, maybe why, how, what the hell you did, and then maybe the next one.
Okay. So along with you, I met Ashley literally the day that I met you, which was the Reebok Summit, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Or
3 years ago? Something.
HQ, somewhere.
Yeah.
And kind of hit it off with Ashley Horner, who is a dope chick, if you guys don't know who she is. And she's batshit crazy, which we all know in a good way, right? So her saying is that she stands for the broken. And she had this mission planned, and this wasn't the first time that she's done something like this, which was to try and raise $25,000 for an orphanage in Haiti called the Mason Fortuné Orphanage in Hinch. And she Google mapped how long it would take her to run there from Port-au-Prince, which is the airport that we flew into. And it just so happened to be 230 miles. So we landed and we hit the ground running. And we did it. And we did it in 4 to 5 days.
What?
We didn't sleep. We had ground pads. And dude, that was the gnarliest thing I've ever done. But the great thing is that we are still alive. And that school got $80,000.
That's amazing.
And we were able to put the kids through school for 3 years rather than just 1. So it was an insane experience.
Yeah.
I've never quite pushed my body to that limit before. Plus, she asked me 3 weeks before we went, and I didn't really think about it. And I was naive and said, you know what? There's nothing I can do in 3 weeks that's going to adapt my body or prepare me for 230 miles. So fuck it. Let's just go. And I don't think I'd ever ran more than 3 miles.
This is incredible, let me just say, because, for so many different reasons, 4 to 5 days to run 230 miles, that's basically running a marathon every single day.
Yeah.
And we didn't really go for distance because it was just fucking with our minds. So we went for time.
Yeah.
So we would just try and go as long as we could. The original goal was that Ashley was going to do it. And because my wedding was 7 or 10 days after we got back. So obviously,
I hope you had some shoes without your toes out.
I did. By the way, my toes were fine.
Really?
I didn't get one blister.
Because I think,
hold on,
not
no,
one
wait. I find that also incredible. No, because I've heard from the ultra marathon running. I've only read a little bit. Born to Run, that book. But doesn't that normally happen where your toes fall out?
I think when we met Horner, or I might have met her before that, but at that summit, she had just run her first.
That was right.
And her toes
were jacked up.
It was probably broken. Actually,
you're part of the genetic elite. You didn't get a blister.
Not one, dude. Not one blister. But this is what Ashley's feet got messed up. She got trench foot and she lost her toenails like on day 2.
Trench foot.
Because the first time we stopped, think about how sweaty we are. It's super hot. It's humid. I wore like these little condoms on my toes, which was so smart. They're called toe caps. They're like gel.
Little condom, bruv.
Condoms on my toes, on my sausage feet.
Condom tangs on my toes.
Bruv. And I think that really helped me. But the first night, I remember looking over at Ashley and she was like face planted with her shoes on. And I took my shoes off.
Yes.
So my feet dried
smart.
out.
Yes. Yeah, you have to.
Super soggy. And then the next day, she had trench foot. Her toenails were raising. And dude, the blisters were so gnarly.
I've never run over maybe 4 miles straight, but I used to play basketball for insane amounts of period at basketball camps. You do drills, whatever, lunch, whatever. One thing I do know is you always take your shoes off when you can. That's why I still wear slides. You always bring more than one pair of socks. When I played basketball, I wore 2 socks anyways. So you literally probably go through 6 pairs of socks a day.
Yep.
And so I wear socks with sandals to this day, and everyone talks shit. But I'm like, well, that's just what you do. You take off your socks because they're gross. You put on new socks because they're comfy and dry. And then you wear sandals to let everything breathe.
And I actually...
Horner, go play some basketball. You learn some shit.
You should step it up, Horner. Get those feet, let those toes air out. Don't let them get soggy. But
soggy toes.
Soggy
so
toes.
gross.
It's gonna kill you.
Boys.
It happens. But I felt bad because that was a whole different kind of pain than the pain that I endured was all mental. My mind played some tricks on me to the point that I was convinced that I had done something serious, like a partial tear on my Achilles or my hip flexor is just shot. And then all of a sudden I would feel like something's going on with my right Achilles for maybe 3 hours. And then we'd stop, get some water, take some salt pills. I would stop thinking about it. And then all of a sudden pain has disappeared. No pain left there, but the same amount of pain has radiated over to my left shoulder. And then it went from there to my right ankle. It was just so bizarre. And it was so eye-opening that your mind is going to literally convince your body that it's failing before it is. And you just tell that voice in your head to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, lack of sleep, lack of water, dehydration or imbalance of sodium things literally will make you hallucinate.
Oh yeah, and elevation.
Yeah.
Like we were seeing some weird stuff, running through in the night, going up and down, voodoo stuff that we were seeing.
Yeah.
We were going, dude, it was some weird shit.
Hey, did you go with, so you 2 ladies ran, but was anyone like in a car? Or like okay, because I'm like.
So we had Haitian police.
Yes.
So we had mopeds. There was 2 in the front, 2 in the back.
Yeah.
We had a film crew that had their own van. Then we had our own van and we had 2 security details that were from the US and a doctor. Yeah. So we had a squad.
Yeah. What was sleep like? I've listened to a podcast. I forgot the lady's name. I'm very sorry, lady. But she did like one of the most famous. It's not even an ultra marathon. It's one of these stupid things, or 150, 180, like just unheard of.
Yep.
And it's trail running basically. And she crushed everybody.
That's
dudes, chicks, doesn't matter. And she beat, I think, second place person. Don't quote me, but like by 8 hours. Like she took a nap, ate a meal, and then went back to the starting finish to high five everybody.
That's insane.
And she said that she didn't sleep.
Yeah.
2 or 3 days.
Smart. Because the more rest you give your body when you're doing something that extreme, the more of a chance your body understands what recovery is, and then pain starts to set in, your endorphins are going down.
Yeah.
It's bad. Every time we stopped, it was the hardest part.
Yeah.
Just get going.
I think she said she took a couple like 1 minute naps or something, something just like.
But we didn't really sleep. So we just laid, and like you can't sleep.
Yeah.
You're all wired up. You're beyond exhausted. There's weird sounds. We're outside in Haiti. There's fucking goats running around. There's human shit next to you. It's just a whole different world, Yeah. So I could not sleep at all. But it was wild.
So you decided to do it again.
Okay. Yes.
And based upon that amazing experience.
But it really was.
Truly.
And
I'm sure.
At the end of the mission, the last mile, all the kids from the orphanage met us. So you can imagine how emotional that is. All the pain disappears, and all you can think of is like, wow.
Yeah.
And Ashley thinks it's really powerful, and I guess it is. But when she asked me to do this, I didn't know what I was doing this for, because I'd never seen the kids. I'd never been to Haiti. I'd never really knew what I was getting myself into, other than it sounded pretty cool and like crazy, and I wanted in. Whereas Ashley, like the whole way, I'm sure in her mind, she was seeing the faces of these kids and being able to push through. But this time, when we got back to the orphanage that night, as a joke, we were like, cheersing with our 1 beer that got us smashed.
I bet.
I think half a beer. And it was like, okay, what's next? Because we've got to one-up it. And it was a joke, which was to run 400 miles through Iceland.
So this one was 2:30.
2:30.
No,
that was purely running.
In the swamps.
Are you going to do, is Iceland coming up?
So on July 7th, we fly to Iceland to run and bike 828.6 miles around the ring road of Iceland.
Come on.
In 8 days. Let's go.
I will say this. I understand the appeal, just like those that want to climb, let's say, like Mount Everest, do something of that magnitude. That sounds epic.
Yeah.
Is that Iceland's not a big, is it directly across? Is it a circle? Like,
So
what are you
the
running?
ring road
I think it is a
goes
circle, kind
all
of.
the way around the edge of Iceland.
Okay.
And it's one road. So do you guys say route or route?
Whatever. I'll probably say.
I don't know, bro.
I actually don't know which one I would say.
Route?
Route?
Now.
Route?
I can't remember.
Well, I'll take a different route. I'll say route.
It's Route 1, so it's one road the entire.
Yeah, kind of like Hawaii. A lot of islands in Hawaii have stuff like that.
But the why behind this one is where things kind of get really deep here. For me, on a personal level, anyway. Unfortunately, one of my best friends was diagnosed with terminal stage 4 colon cancer on the 25th of November, while being 6 months pregnant.
This past year, so about 3 months, 4 months ago.
Yep, 4 months ago. And it's been an extremely challenging time in my life, you know, because I was trying to explain this to you before. It's like everything that I've ever done, like the Haiti or the stuff that we do for charity work with our gym and in our community, it's like we're always constantly just trying to give back. Maybe purely because I've discovered that kind of what makes me tick and keeps me moving forward in business as well. If I feel like that I'm satisfied in that personal part of my heart, if that makes any sense. So, man, it was wild. I found the news out and didn't know how to handle it. It was a hot mess. Like, what the fuck? This is crazy. There's no way. It doesn't make sense. What do you mean? What about the baby? What about her husband? She's got a 2-year-old child. Like, whoa, going nuts. And after I kind of soaked it in and got past the crying phase every time I was talking about it, I was like, all right, there's nothing that we can do, right, to bring it back. There's nothing that's going to save this situation. But all we can do is fight and show love. And that means taking action, because there's only so much that words can do. And they might make you feel a certain way. But I think action, maybe that's me personally, is a significant demonstration of you trying to do something. And that's all I knew what to do. So I called Ashley. I told her the situation. And she goes, before I even asked her, she was like, yeah.
Yeah,
but obviously, even like a documentary or something, because people talk about this and that, or Lance Armstrong biking 100 miles really fast, and that's cool and dandy. But one, the cause behind it. Two, neither of you really trained for this. You guys are very fit. You're very fit, and you guys train very hard. But like the Haiti one, and Horner, the one before that, she told me, she's like, yeah, like I run, but I didn't like train for, what was hers before that? 180 miles.
180 miles.
Yeah.
And it was in the US, like familiar territory, you know, conditions, you knew what was coming.
Worst case, you go into a 7-Eleven and grab a Gatorade. That can't happen in these other places.
And I learned the hard way from Haiti. I mean, I wasn't injured by any means, but I was hurting, like, to beyond belief. Every step I took was just pain. But I'm also convinced that it was because I didn't prepare or adapt my body for it, which was stupid. And I should have known better than that. So this time around, as soon as she said, Ashley was like, yeah, and we announced it, I got a coach.
Yeah,
so
good.
I now have a coach, which is awesome. I haven't had a coach for years. And I'm being thrown into the deep end of something that I have no idea about, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's exciting to try and learn this new skill set and watch now like the improvements, which when you lift, you know, at the beginning, that thrill that you get when your numbers just keep going up.
Yeah.
I'm there, dude. And now I'm a runner.
Yeah, that's but even in that note, talking about this other, I wish I remembered her name, that wins these ultra marathon trail running, the lady, the stud. Even she said, and they interviewed another guy, Cameron Haynes, who's a popular like ultra runner. Like he runs almost a marathon a day or a week, and then this other lady I remember did much less volume, and she whooped his ass, or people of his nature. That's my point being that Omar and I can teach a lot of people how to deadlift or potentially deadlift 600 pounds. It's been documented. It's been scientifically proven, all these things. Running around an island, although you could get in better conditioned shape, and you could get in shape to run a marathon or multiple. There's no
You're preparing for the unknown.
Yeah,
almost at that point.
exactly. I think adapting is the best thing. And I should totally write a blog about it. If anyone ever wants to start running, I've learned so much about shin splints, what shoes you wear, how you tie your shoes up, what you warm up, and how you cool down. But I want to be able to focus on the mission at hand and deal with like muscular pain that I can maybe push through, but joints.
Yeah.
I mean, I was hitting that like red zone in Haiti on the first day because I just wasn't ready for it.
What's that mean?
Like so much pain.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it was purely because my legs were like, dude, you don't run. You've never ran. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Stop right now.
Yeah.
I learned the hard way. And nutrition, like we didn't plan nutritionally. And again, you can't understand what your body wants after 230 miles. But we actually worked against ourselves and we couldn't get anything down.
Yeah.
We went from like, I eat super clean and cook everything from scratch to over there where we can't eat Haitian food just in case we get sick.
Yeah.
Can't drink Haitian water.
Yeah.
So we bought all processed food from the US, which was amazing. Caveman Foods, they totally sponsored the event. I'll throw that in there.
Yeah.
My body couldn't handle it. It was beef jerky, protein bars.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, we were popping down like Pop-Tarts. We had IVs twice a day.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Getting us all the nutrients that we needed. But this time around, I'm going to plan for eating. I'm already training. This will be week 4 starting tomorrow. And I'm going to continue to train for the next 4 months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
and
coming
now
soon.
I see, like, this is where things kind of get deeper again, you know, is how quickly, I don't know if any of you guys have ever been close to anyone that's gone through cancer.
Yeah.
It's obviously depending on the form of cancer that someone is diagnosed with, but how quickly that it can just literally suck the life out of you.
Yeah.
You know, from being 6 months and pregnant, thinking that you're going to have your second child and being on this high and like it's a celebration, having a tough kind of pregnancy. And I hope this also opens up every female and male's eyes that you should never miss a pap smear or a mammogram or anything, and that youth is not on your side because she's only 30 years old.
Yeah.
That no one saw this coming, and it was supposed to be a positive time. And during, I think they did go to the doctors because she was in like back pain and shoulder pain. The side effects of colon cancer, the same as being pregnant: backache, nausea, stomach ache. You know, like nothing that was raising a red flag. So the doctors didn't look into it any further. When they diagnosed her, they immediately treated her for breast cancer because they wanted to eliminate. But the baby was still inside, so it was too dangerous to try and figure out what kind of cancer it would be.
You can't be pumping chemicals and things yet.
So it was bizarre. They were going to keep the baby in for 3 more weeks before it was safe for baby Braden, who is now, by the way, killing the game.
Oh, that's
doing
amazing.
amazing.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Unheard of.
I'll tell you guys,
it's
like
awesome.
it's really cool, really cool. And he was not supposed to come out yet, and she went to get in the chair to go down to the chemo floor, and her body naturally went into labor at 6 months pregnant, which is unheard of. And the doctors were like, "What is going on here?" But he did not want to be inside anymore before Mama got all those chemicals pumped into her body. He was in critical condition at the beginning. He's super underdeveloped. Like, I love, now he's gorgeous, but he looked like an alien, you know? Like, he's not supposed to be in the world yet, and so unprepared. But as soon as the baby came out, Mom, Jess, kind of like crashed pretty hard. I don't know if she was stronger for the baby or maybe the baby, I don't know, who knows?
Yeah, well, pregnancy itsel's probably not easy.
No, I'm sure. I think she was probably fighting and giving it everything.
Yeah.
When the baby came out, her body kind of just
Shut down.
Yeah, back in the day, people died all the time.
Yeah. And then they did open her up, and unfortunately, they discovered that the cancer has attacked almost every one of her vital organs and is beyond operable. Which is terrible.
So it is terminal.
It's terminal.
So what's that even like look like now? Like, what's the day to day? What's the doctor say? What does a friend say? What does she do? What's
you know, it's really hard. It's a very hard situation for everyone that's involved because a lot of things don't make sense. But at the same time, I don't think anyone has the right to kind of like voice that it doesn't make sense or judge by any means, because no one should ever have to deal with that, nor do you no one understands how that feels. I'm sure that the roller coaster of emotions of being mad, like resentment, and you know, just I'm like, fuck, man, we had a whole life planned. We've got 2 kids, we've got a solid relationship, we've been together for 10 years. Like, this was not supposed to happen. It's almost like the plans are messed up now.
Yeah, human nature is to find a reason, hopefully good or bad. Like, oh, why is he successful? He's a really good guy. Yeah. Why is someone sick? Oh, or why are they in prison? They're a bad person.
Right.
When something not cool, not good, not positive happens to someone who is thriving with a family or work or being a good person, you want an answer. And when there's no answer, that's when, you know, I mean.
And unfortunately, you know, the cancer just has taken control and
advanced pretty quickly.
Extremely quickly. And it's terrifying. I mean, Jess is hospitalized for now, and hopefully one day that we can get her stronger to go home, but that's not in the near future. You know, but it's hard because she's been in the hospital for 85 days and she's deteriorating quickly. But over 85 days, Jeff, her husband, still has a 2-year-old child that needs to feel normalcy at home. Where's mom, like, got to go back to work. Who's going to, the insurance or the medical bill? It's just messy, man.
Yeah.
It's really messy.
That's the stuff that often people don't talk about or even think about because these things are so extreme, sad stories. Like, sadly, life always happens.
Yeah.
Taxes, money,
Yeah.
loans, wills. Like that's the stuff that that I went through as a son to my mom and my dad. But I'm just like, this is not by any means worse, but like this lasts for 6 more years. It elongates the entire thing that just sucked, and you're like, all right, well, fuck.
And I think when you're in it, like I've seen it when something's and it is fatal and it needs to happen right now. You don't question if the doctor's in your network or is this covered?
Right.
Blah, blah. Dude, they've got stacks of medical bills, and it's like. What? They shouldn't have to be thinking about that right now, which means that he probably isn't. And we're just trying to support and be there as much as we can. Like kind of be this bouncy ball that just goes, if you're up, we're up. If you're down, we're down, and we'll be there. But baby Braden went home last week, which is amazing.
Yeah.
He's still on oxygen, but he's killing it.
What's he, a couple months old then?
Now, he was only supposed to be born like February 16th, I think.
Wow.
So now he's a couple months
He's
old,
been here on Earth for what, 3 months or something? But maybe.
I think maybe like 92 days or something like that.
That's awesome.
But it was really hard, I'm sure, for Jess whenever baby Braden went home because it's like that's supposed to be, day home with your baby and your family. And, Jeff was there, all the grandparents were there, the cousins, the nieces, the nephews, whatever, and everyone went home. So during that time is when I went up to Tampa and I stayed with Jess in the hospital for a few nights to make sure that she felt love and support. And yeah, man, it's hard. Yeah. It's really hard. I was telling you, like, accepting death is probably the hardest part, but the tasks that you have to do for someone that is so sick become very normal, which is, for me, the weirdest part. Or the I don't know, it's a tough situation. Let's just say that. It's a really tough situation, but there's nothing we can do. And I keep saying this, and it sounds cold now because I don't think there's any more tears that could come out, but it is what it is. So what do? Sit around and fucking cry about it? Or get to Iceland and bike and run 828 miles?
I was going to say, just trying to come to terms with death is always hard. Mm-hmm. I remember for myself, and it's weird, it's a slightly parallel story in the sense that my grade 6 teacher, Miss Choi, who was the dopest teacher, she was pregnant. And I remember I was with my mom. We saw her across the street, and my mom was just talking to her, and she said she felt like just a little bit tired, pretty tired. She thought it was like an iron issue or something like that. And I think she was 5 months pregnant at the time, something like that. And so she went and she got checked out by a doctor, and it turned out she had cancer.
Wow.
And she actually passed away within a month, I think, or a month and a half. Like it was incredibly fast. And we went from basically her like always being there, excited for the birth of her new child. She also had like another kid that was maybe 4 or 5 years old, and we all loved her. She was a phenomenal teacher. And then we just one day we had a substitute teacher during that time, and one day the principal came in like a month later and just said like Miss Choi had passed away, and we were all trying, like we're just bawling, and we couldn't even come to terms with that because it was so quick. Yeah. She went from being so exuberant, she was so joyful, so vibrant, full of life, having a baby. Like this sounds weird, but that's what made me think of it. Is you think death can happen randomly to a lot of people at a lot of different times, but maybe it's because of the creation of new life, birth that's happening. No. Someone that's pregnant, where it just goes in your head like, this can't be happening. Like, why is this happening? There was a child, and unfortunately, the child also did not make it. But coming to terms with that as a kid or at any moment in your life,
let alone a kid,
really hard. Yeah.
It's really hard. And I mean, and this is me being honest. Like, I feel like I'm a pretty strong person. Yeah. This is like, oh man, it's destroyed me. Yeah. For the last like few months. I just can't get my shit together because in my life, everything is going great, and I'm trying to move forward, and, I just landed the cover of Oxygen. It's like, I'm a human and I still feel emotion. And for some reason I feel guilt, man, because
you're like, things are going so well for you.
And right next to me, someone's world is crashing and burning, But the great thing is that Jeff, is become one of my really close friends now, but is really one of my husband's best friends. But he is unbelievably positive and goes to work and is the general manager of the Cheesecake Factory and runs that team. And that's the only thing he knows how to do right now. And it's like so inspiring and so like uplifting to see where he's at. I don't know where he really is at.
Right. He probably doesn't either.
No, I don't think so. But I don't think it's time to think about that right now for him.
Yeah.
And everyone does this differently. But right now, his goal is to just be superhero for
be a dad,
the baby, you know, and that's all they can do.
Yeah, you talked about earlier about like when you don't know what to do, you act. And for you, it's being a psycho and running around islands.
Total psycho.
But for everybody, I think it's slightly different, right? Like for your friend right now, Jeff, it's to work and care for his son, and that's similar things that I've had to do with death. And we talked a little bit yesterday just about who knows what's harder, because I don't, and you don't think. Our situations are different. I've dealt with death, and it was always all pretty quick. It was like everything's great, and then something more quick or traumatic happened, and yours is elongated. I was like, I don't want either. But how do you deal with which and how? Well, because both you're really looking for answers, right? That's what the humans do.
Absolutely.
And same thing. You know, I've talked about it a couple times, but what I try to do is act. I don't run, but to normalize, to make an excuse, to make a reason for me is that I had to learn something from someone, and hopefully, you know, it's someone you love that you're going through, and you take something of them into you. Yeah. So I was like, all right, well, my best friend passed away when I was 18, and why was he my best friend, or what did he do? And that kid made everything we ever did fun. You know, his dad's making us do chores on the weekend when we're supposed to go play. And some reason, raking leaves became fun. So I was like, all right, well, my goal is to have people around me when we're doing shit things be fun, or whatever it might be. And for you, it's to be a maniac and run your feet off. But for everyone, there's no right or wrong way. Right. There's no answers. Right. There's no book. There are books, and I doubt they have real answers. Definitely.
They're writing their opinion, right?
And it can't prepare you for anything like this. Yeah.
And like Omar said, he was in grade 6, so you're 11, whatever. And then, you know, people lose husbands, wives, whatever, when they're 60 and 70. It's not like they're not sad then. Like there's no answer ever. This is the one thing we never get wiser on.
Yeah. Right. And you know, ultimately, Jess is my why, but I know that Ashley lost her father to cancer when she was young, and unfortunately, cancer has affected way too many good people in this world. Some people have overcome it and won. Some people are still battling through it right now, and unfortunately, there's a lot of people that have lost the battle. So we are opening this up to everyone, and I asked on a couple Instagram lives if anyone had been affected by cancer in any way to send me an email explaining the story, so that when we're in Iceland, we can dedicate the miles to them too. Wow. And dude, I can't do it. I have a folder of just printouts, and I think I've read one. I can't read them. Yeah. Not now. Not now. Yeah. I'll wait till we get to Iceland, and every night I'll read Ashley a nice little nighttime story. But the things that have been coming through my inbox are just fucked up.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Oh man, so young. That's what's so terrifying, is that we all think, well, I mean, myself, like when I was younger, I was convinced that who cares if I do X, Y, and Z because I'm young, or I've got plenty of time to get my shit together, or to clean that up, or to do this.
Nope.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So goal on the first one in Haiti, obviously survive 230 miles in a swampland in a tropical environment. But I believe the goal you said was $25,000. You rated $80,000. Goal in this one is to bike, run, combo in a cold place, Iceland, 400 miles.
828.
Okay.
812, bro.
Never mind.
Yeah.
What other goals you got along with it? You got the emails going on. What else you got?
We have a goal of raising $100,000. We are, in full transparency, not 100% sure what we're going to do with the money yet because of the situation that we're in.
It's not going to be a Ferrari, but you don't know what's going to happen. Yeah.
Meaning, who knows if Jeff will be here when the money has been right for the family, or we don't know, the boys for college. Like we're not sure because everything is just so up in the air, or who knows, maybe they are not in a place where they need all of the $100,000 and we can donate some of that money to cancer research. Maybe we start our own foundation. Like our minds are running wild on how we can do it. But one thing we do know is that we don't really want to just hand over a deposit slip. Like we would like to be involved with that $100,000 and how it can make maybe someone's experience with cancer a little bit more positive, if there is that's even possible, or to put a smile on someone's face when they're going through this. But that's our goal. But we're going to split it up, 50 miles on the bike, 20 miles on the road, and we're going to try and stay up as long as we can because it's 24 hours of daylight in Iceland when we go.
Oh, you schedule it. That's dope. Because that's just a couple months of that or something, right? Yeah, that's smart.
Just a couple months, and we found 7 wonders of Iceland, which are all around the ring road. So they're going to be our markers to try and get to.
Yeah.
So maybe that will energize our minds by seeing nature. Who fucking knows at that point, you know? Because it's like, it's wild.
It's supposed to be insanely beautiful there. How can people get involved with that? Do you have a website yet, or just social media and announce it? What you got?
Yeah, we do. So we have a YouCaring page on youcaring.com, and it's under Jessica Boswell. And we also have an online raffle right now that is blown up. Someone bought...
How right now? Because this podcast might be a couple weeks.
Oh, okay. March 11th. It's all right.
YouCaring.com.
YouCaring.com. Jessica Boswell.
And if anyone's listening now, because this will definitely be out probably within about a month, so end of March, well before you actually do this Iceland trip, maybe a documentarian, someone that's listening that wants to be involved, they could just probably contact you then, right? Your Instagram.
I highly suggest someone go
I think that'd be phenomenal.
Really. I would love that.
I already have the name, like it's like, I
Don't
see
say
the
it. Save it. You got a good name. He's a smart guy.
The documentary before me, where it's like, it's on Netflix, like to watch, called For My Friend, whatever, like Jess, for my friend Jess. Like, and it just would document the whole process. I have seen a lot of crap documentaries. I think this would be fantastic.
Yeah.
I agree.
And you know, this is maybe a little deep, but this is what I would love to open up to you guys, right? I kind of went there yesterday. When I was, and this is very eye-opening for me at this point in my life, whenever I was in the hospital with Jess last week, there's not much speaking, right? Because it's just, you're just there as a body and to feel support and love. And I know that she was wondering why I was there. And she kept asking me, like, if I was needed to go somewhere or if I'm holding her up. I'm like, no, dude, I'm here for you, and that's it. Like, we don't need to talk. Let's just sit here, hold my hand, and we're good, you know? And I went, took her outside, and we sat outside, and I was like, you know why I'm here? Because selfishly, maybe, I'm not sure, but whenever I found out about your diagnosis, the first thing I asked myself was, who would be here if I had stage 4 cancer, right? And then you kind of like open up your mind and you go, wow, well, I'm not 18 where all that matters are my friends. I'm married. I have a few businesses. You know, my life is moving extremely fast forward. My team are my friends. You know, I have my friends, but they're also doing their thing. But I do. And it got me going. I'm like, holy shit. Maybe this is a point where we all need to take a second and go, wow, life is so precious. And I had no idea until it came so close. But stop for a second and kind of ask yourself that question. It's kind of deep. And it's eye-opening. And I'm like, ooh. And that's all you need to know, because I said to her the same thing. And I said, you know what? I'm here because I want to be. And you got to accept that whether you like it or not, because I'm not going anywhere. And she's like, oh, cool. But it's eye-opening to be our age and wonder like, whoa.
The question itself and the answer maybe don't matter, but when you start to think of what you're doing in the process of all that, and that's what you and I were kind of talking about, where you and I do have a similar path, and Omar as well, but where social media drives our businesses, this is what we do. Yes, daily we're checking how those are doing and trying to optimize them, because that's how our whatever world
any business works.
Well, and that's how the world we're born into. What do we know? You make money, you take care of you and the ones you care for with that money, and then hopefully you have some time off, and then you do hobbies that you enjoy. Like, that's the process of life as we know it. But the interconnection with humans, partially why Omar and I want to start this podcast is, you know, we do YouTube videos, cool. We'd go work out, high five. You do Instagram posts, you take a picture with someone else who has a big Instagram following, you say hi or cool. But to be able to sit down and actually connect with someone, which you and I have known each other for a while and chatted pretty good, and we're homies. But we've had people on this podcast this week where we didn't know them at all. We invited in here, and then one of them spent the night here. We didn't, you know, just because you can talk for an hour and really get to know somebody, and that connection, like you just said, is hopefully what more people start to aim for.
And you know, if the people in your life are not the right people, then maybe it's time for something called a shedding phase. You know, like, would they be there? You know, take a good hard look at your life and who you surround yourself with, and if you were dying, would they be by your bed?
And change is okay. It's hard, whether it's friends, a shedding phase, or death. Sadly, it is inevitable. But what can we do in the meantime? Hannah, thanks for sharing.
No, thank you guys so much for having me.
Where can people find you besides youcaring.com? Jessica Boswell.
Yep.
And then also Instagram.
Yeah, where else?
So Hannah Eden _fitness on Instagram. So it's HANNAHEDEN _fitness, or HannahEdenFitness.com.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much for being on. That was we went like from superficial to all the way deep. I think this might be our deepest podcast.
Really?
Thus far, yeah.
That's
for the topics
we
that we
went
wrestle
from
with.
tits
and red hair.
I know
red
from
hair.
talking about it, guessing your ethnicity
to a really sad place.
Yeah.
But hey,
but
we're
also
well-rounded.
I think profound, meaningful, and honestly, your message I think is uplifting because you're struggling to come to terms with this. Before, when you're talking about Haiti affected someone you did not know or a school of children you did not know, this one's a lot more personal. But then turning that into something positive, I think, is beautiful.
Yeah, emotion is powerful, man. It really is. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Everybody, thanks for listening. Please give us a rating, review, iTunes, etc. Everywhere you're listening, subscribe and
leave a rating and review. And that's it. I'm not even going to promo the apparel or anything, but
We'll
we're going
catch
to
you
end
guys
on
in
that
the next
profound
one.
note. Yeah.
later.